Welcome to Fast Effect. This is Double Speed Magic from ELD's Time Vault Games. ELD Premodern Open Top 8. Michael with the Rock versus Brad on Terrageddon. He is the #1 seed for a path of terror through this tournament with his Terravore deck. Weathered Wayfarer leading out. Another one in hand. And just accumulating Weathered Wayfarers here. He can use these Wastelands to target themselves if need be. Doesn't have the white mana anymore as his Mox Diamond and Naturalized. Ooh, and Pernicious Deed. That is kind of a perfect draw here. One comes in. Michael opts to duress. Sees just a Terravore. No green mana in sight. I think I would have been blowing that deed up immediately. These Weathered Wayfarers can potentially find some green mana, get him out of this situation. While on board, Terravore is a dangerous thing to commit to. I mean, he can just blow up the deed. Naturalize is a commonly played card, however. I don't know. I don't like giving him these extra turns. And also Wasteland targeting itself. Don't have to blow up the other Wasteland. For those of you looking for... Oh no. Ring of Revelation takes out this Pernicious Deed, and that may be a game-deciding swing right there. That Pernicious Deed is gone. Now, the line that I would have advocated for would be Wasteland targeting itself, fetching up a Windswept Heath. From there, you'd be able to play the Windswept Heath, sacrifice it, and then respond with the Weathered Wayfarer again. All of that could be done even if Michael didn't commit a 4th land to the board. As it is, he's found Gemstone Mine. Blastoderm can't get the job done on its own. That Ray of Revelation was just an absolute haymaker. Michael had depleted Brad's hand. That was right off the top. Grabbing a fetch. Blastoderm can never actually do damage, lethal damage all by itself. Also, always needs something to help it out. Fires of Yavimaya to give it haste, or Pandemonium, other bodies, but fading cards typically templated where they have an impact on the game and then go away. You don't actually have to answer them. Let them do their thing. Opponent is down a card, so things do need to come together for a card like Blastoderm to do its job. Of course, it's played. It's very difficult to remove without patience. Here's another one. Terravore would potentially be a really solid blocker in this situation. Just stare at these Blastoderms as they fade into oblivion. In fact, we'll see that. Rock, not a ton answers for a fatty like this. Does have some, though. Smother, as we saw, Pernicious Deed. Michael's not likely cold to this card, but as it stands, it is going to dwarf Blastoderms. See what Michael can do here. Always looming the threat of Armageddon, blowing up the mana base. I mean, Brad gets ahead at all, fires off that spell. It is just devastating. Now we have Cabal Therapy. Taking a look here, a Sylvan Library, and another Terravore. That green source coming into play tapped. Can't commit another one yet. Lands, throwing his own Terravore, knocking Michael down a land. He has plenty of mana for what his deck is looking to do. Couple of Wall of Blossoms. Could be important later, but as it is now, this Blastoderm just fading into obscurity. Little bias towards Terravore. Love this card. First tournament deck that I brewed up, an Woods Terravore deck, which might actually be viable in Premodern. This is something I had built 20 years ago. 25. Odyssey came. Looks like we've got a little cycling going on. Side effect of growing the Terravore. Not super exciting to be spending mana and making your opponent's creature bigger. Got the Baloth. And sacrificed this Blastoderm, at least get some value out of it. 4 life. Oh, an Armageddon. Yeah, that is brutal here. Facing down. 10 power. Terravore, which, I mean, catapults now. I mean, what was that, like 10 more? Is it 20? I don't even know. It was already huge. In the top comment, if someone calculates, it's got to be upwards of high teens, 20 power for that Terravore, and Brad takes down game number 1. Seems like a really difficult matchup for Michael. Armageddon has that reset button. Extremely dangerous, and the discard doesn't really do the job that you need it to. The rest sees it. Did he keep a 7-lander? Wow. 7-lander, got Wasteland, Treetop Village, Rashadenport. So even though it was just lands, he's got a threat and multiple pieces of potential disruption. Treetop Village of his own. Brad just dragging this game out. Boarding lands, wastelanding lands coming into play tap. Michael with no meaningful plays. Brad will definitely have the mana he needs for whatever comes off the top of the deck. Weathered Wayfarer. Online. You know, not much of a problem. Not being able to activate the Weathered Wayfarer is a welcome turn of events when your opponent is stuck on 2 lands. All right, he's got a Llanowar Wastes into Cabal Therapy. See if he can snag something. Ooh, couple of Call of the Herds. And those are going to start assembling. We're just going to see a stampede of elephant tokens. Interesting that he goes with the Gemstone Cavern. I would have expected the Forest. This is going to tick down. Gemstone Mine, sorry, I should say. Oh, and it's because he drew Meddling Mage. All right, so really turning the corner here with some aggression, laying off the Rashadenport plan and allowing Meddling Mage and Call of the Herd to really accelerate this clock. But yeah, this is the concern when you do that, is you give Michael full use of his mana base, and he puts out a card potentially outclasses both of those cards. This 4/4 Baloth wins in combat versus either. However, Terravor comes over the top on that one. Already seen some cards go to the graveyard. These gemstone mines can quickly follow. Back to activating port. Really not afraid of Michael activating Treetop Village with full life and a superior board presence. Ooh, Snuff Out. That is a great Magic card. Taking out Terravor for 4 life. Don't know about the timing on that one. Oh, and he drew another Terravor? Is that right off the top? I know he had the Call of the Herd in hand. These Lurgoyfs sticking together. We had the 2 Call of the Herds, which represents just a massive amount of damage and really hard to mop up. Trading card for card with Call, really what the card was designed to do. Force your opponent to use a couple of removal spells just to answer your single card. And here Michael just stretched too thin. I think even with the Baloth, he's in terrible shape. Warding down yet again. He's just going to be facing an Alpha Strike here. Even if he blocks a Call of the Herd, he'll be dead. We've got a Call of his own. So now it's just jockeying for position on board. An all-out swing would not be favorable right now. Doesn't represent lethal. Just 3 more damage on board. Oh no, he's got a Treetop Village, actually. Is he just good there? Alright, he's taking the more conservative route, and he's playing a Call of the Herd from the graveyard. I think he actually could have stood up a Treetop. Yeah, if you block the 2/3/3s, 6 gets through. So he has to sacrifice his Baloth, and now another Baloth. So this got messy. This got real messy. Brad could have sacrificed a little bit of his board presence to completely clear Michael's board, but another Baloth has shown up. Swords to Plowshares. Either way, Michael's going to be getting 4 life. Weathered Wayfarer. Able to activate 6 lands on Michael's side. Looks like just 5 for Brad. Or is that a 6 land at the top? All right, looks like there might have been a misfire there. Not sure. It's possible Brad attempted to activate Wayfarer when he's not able to. If that is the case, he actually should be untapping it. Work on the communication with the players to make sure their cards are fully in frame. Press crew wanting to rep their efforts. I do appreciate. We had a 37-player turnout. Definitely can credit the community coming together behind this event. Love to see it. Everything turns sideways here. What does Michael have for an answer? Any type of reply? Looks like he's fetching out for Hardcast Snuff Out, perhaps? That'll take out 2 elephants. Let's see here. We still have 9 damage coming through. He can sack the Baloth after damage. No, he has to do it before damage, because the 9 will actually kill him. Yeah, they're sorting it out. I don't believe there's any way for him to stay alive in good shape. think he eats a meddling mage with one of his elephants. And has to block and sacrifice, but there's just so much on the other side of the board. He basically needs Pernicious Deed here, which would be a hell of an answer. But no, that is it. Brad, moving on. We have one more match. Let's see if Brad can go bell to bell here. Number 1 seed. We'll have the play in the next match.